Wow, there's always something. Wow, always something. My OBS settings have changed. It disconnected my microphone. Ah! I didn't even update my Mac to the new Catalina. So yeah, that's really bizarre. There's always something. Hey everyone, good morning. Cheers. Savage Electronics. Hello Mexico. That's just that name. That's a cool name, but that just makes me feel like you rip electronics apart. Savage. Okay, who have we got? Lots of people. Hello Adam, of course, and Michael, and Better Hobbyist, and Michael Hyde. Hello Benjamin. Azzy, of course, Tabletronics. I hope your internet stays up. I hope it does too. Apparently I had a typo in my thumbnail. Wow, silly me. I couldn't even spell TinyPICO, but I fixed it. Yay. Thanks for letting me know about that. Good morning, Helmet. Hello, Graham. Hi, Paul. Are we back? TinyPICO. Hello, Albert. I need new glasses. Hello, Christopher. Yes, the sound. I wasn't muted. It just didn't choose my microphone. Hi, Andrew. Good morning. And yes, Savage Electronics. I said hello. Hey, Mike. Yay, Mike. Hey, John McRae. We've got Stephen Mott. Bruce, hello. Johnny's here. Christian, hello. Paul the Curtains. David. Ian. Hey, Shaq. Hello, Ray. Did I say hi to you? I think I missed you above. Hi, Ray. Hello, Chris Orban. G'day. G'day, mate. Monster Mark. Hello. Intermittent Tech. Hello. Hey, Hojad. Okay, I might have missed someone. Yes, Michael Bernhard. If I missed anyone, I apologise. Hello, everybody. Wow. Either my eyes are getting worse, or that writing's getting smaller, or something is going on. I don't know. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is good. Hope everyone is self-isolating. Hello, Death Shaker. A large decrease in net quality. Yeah, everything's it's overloaded globally. I mean, it's not like we had a good internet to start with here, Ian, but it's definitely not coping very well. So yeah, I've been getting lots of buffering and stuff. I mean, I got a 100 megabit connection, 100 megabit down, which I can in normal times get that pretty reliably, but when it's connected, that is. But yeah, I've been getting buffering and all sorts of stuff. Monster Mark's going completely crazy. Yeah, it's getting a little bit stir crazy. I mean, it's tough for our kids, and therefore it's tough for us. Hello, BitLoonies Lab. Good morning. You're up early. Have you done another all-nighter? Yeah, a lot of us here have done the self-isolating thing for a while. Christian, we're pretty introverted, a lot of us. I mean, I work from home, right? So really nothing's changed for me, except my kids are around more often to annoy me. I don't get that respite when they're at school. So, yeah, it's like it's the same. Same for me. Hello, Peter S. Good morning. Hello, Mr. Watts. Dave is going out of his mind. Damn. BitLooney just had a nap. Wow. Did everyone catch BitLooney's 10.5 hour mega stream the other day? If not, go watch it. It's on his main channel. He finally finished putting together his pick and place machine and got some boards made, and it was epic. It was really, really epic. I don't know how he did 10.5 hours. I would have needed a nap in between. And Brian did a 4-hour stream. Yeah. I think everyone's putting the challenge down for me, but I don't want to do such long streams. Yeah, no. it was a great stream. There was really good chat during BitLoonies and Brian's, but yeah, bit hard to dedicate a chunk of 10 hours just to watch one though. So my little IO expander. This has been the bane of my existence. Such a cool board. It really is a cool board, and I've just let it slide for lots of reasons. Being retired and living alone, there's actually little change presently, only shopping shortages. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of us, it's the same, I think. I think it'd be tough for those living alone, though, like how well it must be for you, because the fact is you can't go out and socialise even if you wanted to. I don't know what's happening elsewhere, but in Australia, we've got like the police are now fining people for if anyone gathers, if anyone's out when they don't need to be and they're gathering in more than a group of two people. It's just instant fines now, $1,000 on the spot to discourage people from doing it. And it's mainly our youth that are still out being reckless. So, but yeah, for those of you that are like really social people, that really enjoy getting out and mingling and doing stuff, yeah, it must be really hard being forced at home. Shops yesterday were packed. Really? Yeah, and there are no jobs going on. Yeah, absolutely. It's a terrible state of affairs. It really is. But I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm happy for you guys to chat about it if you want to, but I'm going to move on. I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm going to tell you a story about a whole lot of castaways. No, not castaways. So I've gone back to autofocus. I'm not doing that focus thing anymore. Hopefully it'll be okay. So this is my IO expander. For those that aren't aware what this is, see, autofocus, are you going to focus? See, it doesn't look very focused, does it? Nope. See, now it doesn't want to focus. It's not terrible. Hey, Crazy Roops. It's good enough focus for now. No, it's not. No. Okay, I really don't like that. It's going to be one of those days, I keep telling you. So, my IO Expander Shield, for those that don't know, has obviously an SD card reader on there and has an extra 14 IO, although you lose some of the TinyPICO IO to be able to control it, right? But you get 14 extra digital IO, you've got 4 ADCs on here, inside there. There are 3 IO that are level shifted, so you get 5 volt level shifted out, and a reset button. Yeah, your reset button. So it's really cool. And then your TinyPICO. Let me just grab a TinyPICO. TinyPICO plugs in. Wrong way around. Just here. And it's fairly compact. But so then you've got all your TinyPICO pins broken out. And then you've got all the other pins broken out. And it's a really cool board. And it was done. And then I had Adam Kia working on a library for the Arduino side, and I had Mike Corsa, who's in the chat, who has been working on a MicroPython library to help me out because I just couldn't get it all done myself. And Adam finished ages ago, and yeah, I feel really bad because I hadn't just got this done. And then what happened was I got stalled because Adam noticed that there was a little bit of noise on the ADCs when you were hammering the digital side. And so my original board, which I don't have one here, this is the current board, but the original one, yeah, I didn't have any, just show you on here. Where's my tweezers? Here are some tweezers. So on this board now, I've added some stacks of extra decoupling, and I've put some ferrite beads and a complete separation of the power for the ADCs, and completely isolated. There's no ground going through there; it's all separate, which you can't really see on the PCB. But the other thing that Mike brought up on my original design was that I had, and this is the kicker for me, and this is what really pissed me off, and I've been sitting on it for ages, is I numbered the pins wrong. So I numbered instead of 0, because there were, is it 14 IO? 14? Yeah. So instead of going 0 to 7, I did 1 to 8. And that's wrong because the pin numbers are wrong, right? What are the beads for? So the ferrite beads are just for power filtering. I've got a ferrite bead on the power, on the VCC and on the ground for the ADC, just to eliminate any digital crossover noise that was interfering with the power coming in. And it did reduce the it wasn't noise, it was like you could see just occasionally a little bit of a spike on the ADC. It removed it, reduced it dramatically. So it was definitely worth doing, but it's only really an issue if you're trying to use the ADCs while you're hammering all of the digital I/O, which is not really a use case. I mean, it might be, I guess, but you know, yeah. Or like, for instance, if you're writing to the SD card, if you're slamming the SD card while you're reading the ADCs, technically you're hammering the I/O, right? But you can always get around that by, you know, take your readings, write them, take your readings, so forth. So, yeah, so the pin numbering is wrong. And see, here's the thing, right? I had already made... Okay. Let's try focusing again. Autofocus, when I'm zoomed out, seems to work better. I'd already made a bunch. Look at this. These are all made and packed and ready to go. And they've got... Get it out. Oh, lots of headers in there. I've got boards that are made. I've got the little stands made for them on the back. The stands are there so when you put all the headers in and you've got all these pins that are kind of sharp and scratchy, that it doesn't scratch your desk when you put it on your desk, right? I made little stands. I'm not sure if you're able to see there. It says IO Expander on there. And I had all my cards printed, but they're all labelled wrong. They're all 1 to 14 instead of 0 to 13. Pissed off. Pissed off. I can't remember how many I made, but I've got a few here. So I got really pissed off with myself and I moved on to other things. But I need to get this out. I've invested a lot of money in parts. And, you know, and Adam and Mike have spent a lot of time with, you know, making their libraries. And both libraries have wrappers, although I haven't... Mike just finished his wrapper, or did his first pass on his wrapper, so I'm going to have a look at that. He just did a pull request overnight. So, hey James. So, like, I have to release this, because I feel bad that a lot of work's gone into it, not just by me. But yeah, these are annoying. So, look, I don't know about a giveaway. BitLooney just said a giveaway, but I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do it, that I can... I mean, because these work perfectly fine. They don't have the filtering on the ADCs, but again, it's only a problem if you're hammering the digital I/O at the same time, which most people aren't going to do. And they're obviously numbered wrong. So I thought, like, I've got two options for these, right? I can salvage parts off them and reuse the parts, which I'm confident I can do without damaging any of the parts. That's fine. I mean, I'm a bit of a hot air rework expert. I'll toot my own horn. I'm pretty good at it. Or I can maybe just sell these at a really discount rate, like sell them for cost. But I don't know how I'm going to do that because I can't really list two different versions. I'm just going to go back for here for a second, drink some coffee. I can't really list two different versions on my website. I don't know how I'm going to explain what the differences are. I missed a whole bunch of chat there. I'm sorry. Hey, James. Thank you for the 10K Congrats. Yes, I passed 10k subs, finally. Yay! Very exciting. What did I miss in the chat? Yeah, I had to put USB this end because some people put things in backwards. So, yeah. What did I miss? Anything? You know, is any AD stability with the what are FB? Oh, do I notice more? Yes, there's definitely more stability. Well, yeah. I mean, there's less noise for sure, and the noise that like on the scope, like we're talking about, it's not noise. You can see an occasional spike, right? But it's at a really like it's we're talking about the like nanosecond type time frame, and very short. Like it's yeah. I wouldn't think like when you're reading from ADCs, you're not reading a value. Like you're generally accumulating values and averaging values, right? Because you know ADCs just generally a noisy. You stick an ADC in any type of electrical environment, you're going to get noise. Um, so rather passy here. What? Oh, okay, that was not to me. Sell us prototypes and with a markup for yourself. Well, it's not even about the markup. I don't know how I'm going to be able, how I would list two different versions on my store and how people would understand which one was which. Like, I don't want to list two products and have to explain why one is defective, even though it's not. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. It's maybe what I'll do is I won't list them and I'll just let people know if they want any of these ones to let me know and I'll do something outside of the store. Because look, I've got how many have I got? 1, 2. I mean, not that many. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 14, right? I think I had 16 or whatever, and I sent one to Mike and me, and I've got one obviously, and I sent one to Adam. So like, yeah, there's only 14 of them. It's not the end of the world. Can't you list as a V9 and a 1, state the improvements? Yeah, I can, but I think for people that know what the explanation is, like people are listening now, that's fine. I think for people just visiting the store, I think it's going to be quite confusing. Or, well, I generally only sell shields from my TinyPICO.com store anyway. I don't list the shields anywhere else. So, I think it's just going to look odd. Why would I list, yeah, pre-1 version? I don't know. And they still work really fine. Right, you just got to remember that when you're talking about IO1, it's actually IO0. That's all. Anyway, I've redesigned the cards. So I was going to get them printed, but I don't even know if I'm allowed to go to Officeworks to pick them up. But the artwork for the cards redesigned. I've got a whole bunch of bags. I've got stacks more bags. Oh, there's another board. Right, I've got stacks more bags and feet that I've printed. And I can always salvage the bags for those ones if I need to. Labels. So the plan is, I'm going to put these away. I don't want to get them confused. Look, it's just how noisy. I've got them in a bag, so I keep them separate, so I know that they're different. You can go to Officeworks. It's business for starters. Yeah, no, I wasn't sure if they were still doing printing. Hey, Mike. Hi to anyone that's popped in that I haven't said hi to. Drop an amendment card in the packs and sell them for a few dollars cheaper. Well, I think that's what I'm going to do. I just have to work out how I let people choose which one they want. That's all. Like on Tindy, you can do the drop down type thing where you can pick options, but I don't have that ability on my own stores implementation, like the e-commerce stuff. So let me just go back to here for a second. So I've got panels of my new one, and these are the ones where for those that caught it, I can't remember what was on the stream, like JLC PCB messed up my silk screen. If that'll focus. So they messed up the silk screen on some of them. It's just missing. You can't read the numbers. Some of them are okay, some of them are not. They gave me half my money back. It's a bit of a pain because the boards are all over the place on the panels, so it means that when I'm picking and placing, I can't selectively pick and place, not easily. So that's going to be a pain, but I'm not going to build those today because I can't pull parts of my pick and place right now, not till tomorrow. Because I ran out of TinyPICOs, actually ran out of TinyPICOs. I had a bit of a rush over the last week, people buying TinyPICOs, and I wasn't prepared. And I've been making lots of TinyPICOs. But what I do have is when I made this prototype, or when I made the new revision, I got 10 boards made. Because it was the same price. Back then when I got these done, JLC PCB were the same price for 5 or 10. So I've got 9 more boards here. So that's my one, obviously. So I'm going to build these 9 today, or start building anyway. Well, there's 8 there, and I think I've got one in here already. So that's what I'm going to do today, and that'll give me at least a few, although I need to get the cards printed and get the libraries up online and stuff. So it's not like I'll be launching them today, but I want to get this project done. They're a really cool board, and spent a lot of time working on these, and I really want to get them out, and I have no idea if people are even going to buy them or not. What I missed as of yesterday, they seem to be working normally. Okay, cool. Thanks, Ian. I better then get them done today. So, yeah. Sell the other version on Fleabay. Oh, I'm not selling anything on eBay. Terrible. Yeah. I hear horror stories of people selling electronics on eBay, and you know, people claiming they never arrived and getting their money back without questions asked. All those people with extra time on their hands, we all ordered TinyPICOs or other things to pass the time. Hey Pierre. Yeah, well, that's interesting because I don't know, I had like a period of 2 weeks where no one bought anything. And it was, yeah, I figured that unlike normal times where people are stuck at home and so they work on their hobbies or whatever, there's a lot of economic uncertainty, right? So I felt like people were holding on to their money, not wanting to spend, which makes total sense, right? There's stacks of people out of work, stacks of people don't know if they're going to be able to keep their jobs. And so during those 2 weeks, I just figured, okay, well, the next 3 months, I'd be lucky if I could sell anything. But then something crazy happened, I don't know, over the last four days or 5 days, and I ran out of TinyPICOs. Yesterday I sold 3 Reflow Masters, and I'm out of Reflow Masters again. So I could build Reflow Masters today. Would you rather me build Reflow Masters or IO Expanders? I don't mind. I have to do both. So anyway, I've been picking and placing TinyPICOs, and I'm out of D4s again. So this is all I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 6 D4s left. But I just bought another reel, and hopefully I'll have it soon, but shipping has gone berserk. So my DHL orders from JLC PCB and LCSC I'm now being quoted 2 weeks delivery from DHL. My last PCB order from JLC PCB that actually got picked up last night sat for 6 days before DHL could pick it up. And I have an order coming I bought some stuff from Alibaba. I got some custom cables made, and they were sent via UPS. What day is it today? Wednesday. Last Monday, so Monday a week ago, via UPS. And they went from Shenzhen to Shenzhen, and then they sat at Shenzhen, and every day it said, missed pickup, and finally what day is it? Finally Tuesday it got picked up, and it's now in Korea, and now it's stuck in Korea. So yeah, freight is just gone berserk. Might need to spend next month's salary on a roll of TinyPICOs. Who? Your salary? Or my salary? What salary? Deliveries are tough because reduced passenger carriages. Yeah, I mean, I understand why it's happening. It's now I have to move to Korea. Actually, yeah, it's in South Korea. I think that's okay. No, I'm not moving anywhere. Um, yeah, so just juggling a lot of different issues, like with freight now. Not knowing when I'm going to get my goods and stuff is becoming a bit of a challenge. So, but yes, I've got a new roll of Picos coming, and I've ordered my first order, I'll call it, can't say more, of SP32 S2s, and paid for, but I have no idea when I'm getting them. So, yes, but I've bought my first S2s. Okay, so do you want me to do Reflow Masters or do you want me to do IO Expanders? I don't care, but I need to start building. Do more Reflow Masters soon. I'll be ordering one soon. Don't know, hurry. Well, I can only build 4 because I've only got 4 screens because my order of 15 screens is stuck in China. It's been at the sorting center in China now for a week and a half and hasn't left. Wow, seriously, I mean, I'm not complaining. I understand there were bigger issues in the world. I'm not complaining. I'm not. So these little guys that I reordered my new ones, they are somewhere between China and Australia. They left China. They've not arrived in Australia. Yeah. So I don't know where they are. I've got 2 reels of WS 2812Bs for my, because I'm out of Neo 7 segments again. I bought 2 reels, so 2,000 of them. They also left China. They left China on the 4th of March and they have not arrived in Australia. So there's that. And I bought another, is it up here? Do I have one up here? No, I don't. I bought another 50 of my IPS display screens, you know, the little 160 by 80 screens. You all know which ones I'm talking about for my IPS display shield. They also left China on March the 4th and they have not turned up in Australia. So I've got about $1,000 worth of goods that are somewhere between China and Australia. And Ali won't do anything about them yet because they're not past their whatever time frame they give, right? And Australia Post can't find them. They said they haven't hit customs, but they can see that they left China. They're somewhere. They've gone. They've travelled. They're travelling around the world via camel, I think. And a PCB order shipping to my employer's office, but the complex is shut down. Oh no, that's not good. Port quarantine. No, because if it gets to Australia, even if it... So what happens when it gets to Australia, it's still technically not in Australia until it passes the border, whatever they're called. Not security, whatever they're called, the customs border people. It gets put... It's not on sovereign soil until it gets in this holding thing. But once it hits that, there's a thing that triggers where whoever the recipient carrier is going to be can see... Is it Border Force? Thank you. The recipient carrier can see that it's there, even though it's not technically on sovereign soil yet. And none of those packages have triggered that. So they're not there. They're not... They've not reached the Australian border at all. But they've left China. So, so apart from the money, it's seriously, I think about $1,200 worth of stuff. Apart from that, I don't have those parts, so I can't do anything. I can't kit up my whoppers still, and I can't make more Neo 7s. Anyway, so I can only make 4 Reflow Masters because I've only got 4 screens left. And that's it. And I can't get screens. And I don't want to order some more because I don't want to have the same problem. Wouldn't be surprised if ABF is dragging their feet opening shipping. I don't know. Look, it's possible. I'm sure they're being inundated. It's crazy times. It really is. Hey Tony, McCann. I'm sorry if I've missed anyone. They let us in one at a time to pick up stuff. I was able to snag my boards. Oh wow, cool. gone to Austria. Could be. Got 2 screens that came pretty fast. Well, I also had a delivery from DHL the other day that turned up in a day and a half. It left China on. It got picked up on the Sunday night in China, and it arrived. No. Saturday night it got picked up in China and arrived Monday morning here. So it's just a hit and miss, I think. Okay, so which one am I doing? Flip a coin. Now I'm going to do some IO expanders. Because they need to be done. They need to be done. Thanks, Peter. It's an exciting milestone. It doesn't mean anything, right? Like on YouTube these days, it used to be 10K was the point where the algorithm would would kick you up a notch, and you'd start getting organic growth. But it's not 10K anymore. It's probably 50K. So, okay, I'm doing IO expanders. So I've got one in here already. I'm gonna maybe do 2 at a time, and I'm gonna obviously hand do them. I'm going to stencil here, so you can see me stencil, and then I will do them under the I'll do them under the microscope so you can see. Yeah, but I got my new microscope adapter. So very quickly, my desk is a mess. No comments on mess or not mess. So I've got my new adapter here for the camera, so the camera doesn't have the focus problems anymore. So it just now works, which is great. I still get that black blanking issue, but I think that's just my computer is just not capable of grabbing so many HDMI sources coming in. That also took a while to arrive, but it did arrive. So stuff's coming through. Okay, so I need to change my glasses so I can see what I'm doing if I'm stenciling, because again, actually I might move, sorry, I'm just going to take the microphone from this one off so I can get my head a bit closer. Okay, so I can't see the chat right now, folks, just for a moment. I will paste up 2 of them. And I'll work on 2, and then if I can get them done, I'll then work on another 2. We'll see how we go. Just mixing my paste. So making my new TinyPICOs was a pain, or making my last batch of my TinyPICOs was a pain, because I'm sure I mentioned it. I don't know if I did or I didn't, but I had to rechange my TinyPICO boards because JLC PCB won't make my TinyPICOs anymore as they were. Even though they've made like 500 panels. No, how many panels? 300, 400 panels they've made in the past. They came back to me on my last, or not my last order, a few orders ago and said, these boards are out of spec. And I said, what are you talking about? So I'm sorry for those of you that have heard this story already. I said, what are you talking about? You've made these like so many times. Like I'm just reordering the same board, the same Gerbers you've already made. And they said, no, they're out of spec. Your spacing from the edge of the board isn't right, blah, 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 blah. And they made me change them. So my boards are, it's such a minuscule amount, but the boards are slightly wider. We're talking about 2 mil, not millimeters, 2 mil, right? 2 mil on each side of the board. But because of that, sorry, just one sec. Yes, there's a board inside there, by the way, for those of you that are about to laugh at me. Get off. So because of that, I had to spend 5 hours recalibrating my pick and place machine again. Ooh, nice. That's one. And that was really frustrating. That was something I thought I'd never have to do again. To go and basically from scratch tune. Did I put that in upside down? I did. To go and tune my whole TinyPICO panel again. So we're talking about going back and putting in a board with double-sided tape all over the board and replacing all the parts and fixing every position, right? Because when you're talking about 0402 and smaller components, that 2 mil across a panel where it spreads out, it accumulates. And yeah, that was 5 hours of my life that I really thought I'd never have to do again. But I did it, and I got it, and I built a whole bunch. But as I said, I'm out of D4s now, so I can't build any more for the moment. And I reckon I've got enough boards to maybe last me a week at the rate I'm selling them. So if I can't get these new D4s soon from Espressive, because I buy them directly from Espressive, I mean, they're paid for, it's ordered, and they've got them, but they actually put some aside for me, which is really nice. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with the shipping. They get shipped DHL, but yeah, it could be a week or 10 days before I get them. So, okay. So that's 2 boards. I'm going to start with these 2. I'm going to leave this here. Turn my glasses again. I'm sorry I couldn't see the chat during all that. Yes, I put a PCB under. What did I miss? Miss anything? Camera's focus mixed, but your focus isn't. Camera's focus fixed. My focus isn't. Sorry, which one? Are you talking about my face? Girls in China with the first run was beautiful and they degraded each run. Oh, that's terrible. Where can I buy Reflow Master? They're out of stock on Tindy, but you said... Yeah, I'm going to build some more today and I'm going to list them. Simon? Yeah, I sold out yesterday. I sold 3, my last 3 yesterday, which is quite unusual. Had one guy buy 2, and so he's bought 4 now off me, which is nuts. But yeah, so that was unexpected. Totally unexpected. Okay, I'm going to try turning my microscope on. I'm probably going to have to turn off my DSLR while I do it. So let me switch back to here. I'm going to have to turn this off for now. Let me move this out the way. Whoop. Okay, so I have parts all over my desk. I'm sorry you can't see me right now. Just hold on. Let me see if this works. I think that pasting looks good. Let me... You have a great product to people. Come back 3 more times for more. Yeah, he bought 1, then 1, and then he's now bought another 2. Thanks, Peter. No, not that one. This one. Yay. Okay, so microscope. That's good. So that should be in nice focus, and should not go in and out. Like if I go and do this and put that in there, it should just stay now and focus, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I did some tests with it. Very happy with that. Look at that pasting. That's not bad. I don't know if that one's any good. Yeah, that one shifted. I knew that shifted. That's okay. That'll reflow fine. Okay, so I'm trying to think how I'm going to do this. Is it... No, it's colour. It's just that the boards... it's vivid colour. Whoa. There we go. It's just the boards are black and gold, so you can't really see. It's just the contrast. Just the contrast. I might get my turntable. I'm going to see if I can do them on my turntable. It's going to get it a bit closer. So the only problem with this new lens is that it's much closer. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on... I'll have to move it around a bit as I'm working, so you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Because it's so it's a half lens. It's like a Barlow lens, which means it you get more magnification put a phone book under it. Under what? The microscope? I can't. It's attached to my desk. I can lift it higher, but then I can't look through it. Let me just... If I turn that around so you can see what I'm doing. I need to be able to look through it, right? If it gets too high, I can't look through it. Okay, so we should just start. I don't know what order I'm going to do this in. I should probably even bring up... Yeah, it's a really good camera. It's a really nice camera. Now that the focus stuff is working. Okay, I'm just going to bring up the board. It's been a while since I built one of these, and I just need to remember, make sure I put the right caps in the right places, because that'd be embarrassing if I don't. I keep drinking my coffee, gotta remember. I'm sure you can't see me right now, sorry about that. Okay. I might start with, what do I need also? I'm just getting some more parts out. So I've got them all ready. I need that. Got those. I need, oh, I hope I've got enough blue LEDs. Yeah, I've got enough. I need to order some more. Okay, and I need 2K. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start, if I can find my tweezers. Rockburns, +1 for Rockburns question. Who's Rockburn? Did I miss something? Rockburn, I think I do use MicroPython for all your products. Hello, Rockburn. No, well, no. So, I'm still fairly new to MicroPython. I am obviously using it for my Reflow Master Pro. My Reflow Master code base is in C++, just in the Arduino IDE, as are most of my other projects, just mainly because that's what most people in my community use. Hey Agim, and hello Connie E. So yeah, but like I really like MicroPython. I'm having a love-hate relationship with it at the moment. Mainly due to just the state of certain things about it. So, and how much work I had to, so you know, with my Reflow Master Pro, I had to do, you know, I've written my own screen driver, my display driver. I've had to write a lot of stuff for it that normally would come as part of it, right? You know, on the Arduino side, we're all spoilt by the awesome amount of libraries that are out there. Not all of them are good, but you know, there's enough choice that we can. So I'm just getting some resistors out. I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. That's the downside with using the microscope view. So that's been kind of a disappointing experience. But you know, I'm involved with the MicroPython side and the community, so you know, I'm chatting with people about it all the time and the state of things. And okay, so these are just resistor networks, 10K resistor networks. Wow, shaky hands today. Feeling a bit nervous. Oh, okay, I gotta make sure that it's in view. I gotta look over on the screen over here so I can make sure you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to keep using MicroPython for stuff, but ultimately it was a very big project to take on for my Reflow Master Pro, considering how much stuff I had to write that had nothing to do with my Reflow Master Pro code. So these are called resistor arrays, I guess. Sometimes they're called networks. It's basically 4 resistors in one package, but they take up less space than 4 resistors. If that makes sense. So this is an 0603 4x10K. and these two pads here are both 0603. So if you get 4 0603s next to each other, it takes up twice as much space. Plus 1 for beer. Is the beer o'clock already? Woohoo! Okay, so that's those. Let me get those out of the way. They're on a reel. I don't know what order I should do this all in. I might get some of these on. Okay, I'm just getting out some of the ICs and I'll put them on. Except I don't know how I'm going to get them back in the bag. That's annoying. I have to put them over there for now. Less space and also cheaper in assembly as it saves 3 placements. Yes, much quicker to place, takes less space, and actually works out cheaper to buy them that way. I mean, we're talking about, you know, why did I take 4 out? Oh, I took 4. Jeez, I'm an idiot. I'll have to put those aside for now. Why did I take 4 of these out? Okay. So I'm talking about these little ADS. Wow, getting this in the camera view is annoying, I gotta say. Having to shift it around. I'm sure it's even more annoying for you guys to have to watch it. Come on, steady hands. Really not feeling steady today. I don't know why. Either more coffee or less coffee. I don't know. What do you think, folks? Do I need more coffee or less coffee? Okay. I'm pretty sure... Now, the thing with the ferrite beads is I don't have to place them. I'm going to. But, yeah, technically... And the same, this is a 10 microfarad cap. Just here in the middle. That I can just put a 0 ohm resistor there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick a 10 microfarad cap on. If I can, sorry. Okay, get some ferrite beads out. If, yeah, again, if I've missed anyone saying hi, I'm sorry. If you've got a question for me, make sure you at me. Hey, manual pick and place. Yes, I'm manually picking and placing these because they're in individual boards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, these are the ferrite beads, which really just look like little resistors. Okay. I'm checking the chat. It's a bit far away from me right now, a bit hard to see. Okay. Whole bunch of caps now. Let's get all the caps on. Lots and lots of caps. 0.1. 10 nanofarad. Get some 10 nanofarads out. Interesting. We want them the other way around. Now, these are decoupling. I really should have put these closer to the IC. Right, they're decoupling just over here, that pin, but I couldn't get in there. I couldn't get a cap inside there easily, or not two of them, and I didn't want to get them close to the headers and have people accidentally hit them with a soldering iron. 10 nanofarad. I have to say, I have a pretty impressive array of components above me now. And stacks I haven't even put away yet. Got so many parts in tubs right now. But I'm almost at the point now where I have to very rarely order passives. I mean, unless I run out, that is. Okay, so with decoupling, you should generally stick your smallest value closest to the pin. So if you're doing multiple decoupling, so right now I'm using a 10 nanofarad and 100. So the 10 is first and then the 100 is afterwards, is generally what you do. Does it use an FTDI chip? What are we talking about? Which does what? See, look at the. Sorry, I'm not going to comment about the routing inaccuracies of their boards. Yeah, not going to do it. Do you plan to upgrade the TinyPICO to USB-C? No, I don't. Not the TinyPICO itself. That would mean that the board size would have to change. But all my future boards are using USB-C. But there are too many. Yeah. No, not changing the board at all. For the TinyPICO specifically, if that makes sense. 10K and 10K, 10K, 0.1. I'm going to run out of 0.1s. 10K, 10K, and okay. One. I need some more 10 nanofarad. Yeah, I love USB-C. I much prefer it to micro B. Unfortunately, most of the world still uses micro B. It's much more common still, and yeah, it changes the board too much. It's not like a drop-in replacement I can do. The board would have to change size and shape, which means people who have designed enclosures for it or have particular projects for it, that will cause a problem for them. So yeah, not going to do that. But I'm not designing any new boards that use micro B anymore. Okay, some 10Ks. I'm sorry if everyone's finding this boring. I really enjoy hand assembling boards. I find this therapeutic. I don't find hand soldering therapeutic. Just ask Julian. Well, USB-C ports can't be hand soldered, but that doesn't matter. Like, when you're doing this, when you're reflowing, stenciling and reflowing, it really doesn't make any difference. So long as your pasting is good, because the pins are really close together. And all my boards that I'm doing USB-C for, I'm just doing USB version 2. So 0.1, 2.2, 3.3, my 3.3s, 3.3, 2.2, and I need 0.1s. I'm not sure I'm going to run out of 0.1s anytime soon. I have reels and reels of them and lots of tape of them. What is this IO expander? This is, yes, this is the IO expander. You know when I would be able to put this on, but never. Oh, really? Mixer through hole. I mean, yeah, you can get some really big, bulky USB-C connectors that are maybe potentially hand solderable. I don't know, but not the ones I use. Oh, Teletronic. Sorry, I thought you were here before when I was talking about it. Yeah, so it's got, it's using an MCP 23017. For digital I/O, it's got an ADS 1015. So 4 12-bit ADCs. So I'm just getting some caps out because I need more caps. And it's got a level shifter. Oh, where am I going? I should have put the ICs on first, but that's okay. And it's got an SD card reader on here. So it's kind of like a multi. It's an IO Expander board plus more. Plus. I call it IO Expander Pro board, but I left the Pro off the card. 2.2 and 3.3. I've got parts everywhere now. I've got to really be careful I put them back in my containers properly, or I won't recognize what they are. I'm getting there, slowly. We're getting there. I got the beginning of the stream, had to reset. Ah, okay, right. Thanks, Connie. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, I hope I am. So, for those that may remember a stream way back when I had to... So the 5-volt level shifter that gives you can see here, 5-volt I/O, those 3 pins. Obviously that will only work if you've got 5 volts connected to the board. So like if you're running off battery or something on your TinyPICO, you won't get 5 volts. So I had to stick a sense pin through a voltage divider here to detect when 5 volts is on, because the detection is not 5 volts, it's 3.3 volts. Because when you only have 3.3 volts connected, it needs to know how to turn itself off, and it can't do that if it can't detect 3.3 volts. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, I had to stick this voltage divider on. This board's definitely been an interesting journey on, sorry if that was off camera when I did that. I'm trying to get my resistors all the same way. If Greg's still here, did you call things? I'm trying to be thoughtful. I'm just going to get some buttons on while I'm here. You could be wrong, what is it? You cannot burn an ESP bootloader. Well, there's no such thing as a bootloader on the ESP, if that's what you mean. Not in the sense of what... Oh, that got stuck to my tweezers. Not in the sense of what you think of a bootloader is, you know, for other chips. So generally a bootloader defines what all the peripherals are on your... Oh, that was off camera. Sorry. Sorry. Hey, Deppy Sharma, if that's correct. Normally, yeah, your bootloader will define all your peripherals and stuff for your microcontroller and define how it communicates with the USB and stuff. You don't do that with an ESP32 or an 8266. Okay, I've got some passives to put down the sides here. These are LEDs or an LED and a actually need two LEDs, 2.2, no, one LED, 10 and 0.1. Wow, so many caps. So many caps. Okay. Ten. Amount of 0.1s? Yeah, amount of 0.1s there. Okay. When you can't have too many caps, but when you're picking placing them, no problem. When you're hand placing them, a lot of components to put on. I need two 2.2s. So what color LEDs were going? I was going to put blue. The LED is for the SD card detect. Well, there is what? A bootloader. No, there's no. I mean, there's ROM. Sure, there's stuff in ROM, but there's no. It's not a bootloader specifically. Well, not like you'd normally think about it, because the ESPs are running an RTOS. They're running free RTOS, which is different, right? So. One way around. Okay, that. I think that's enough for the 2Ks. IO Expander is large chip. What do we mean? Pink or purple? No, I'm not doing pink or purple. Green. I don't know. What is the biggest IC in the middle? Oh, right. So the big one is the MCP 23017. I'm going to, I'm not at Thodi is what you are, mate. Thodi? How many run RTOS or non-RTOS? How many what? Sorry, most micros you buy don't run an RTOS. So people are saying they don't want, well, I like blue, but whenever I use it, I tend to add larger resistors to it to make it dimmer. Yeah, I'm using a 2.2K resistors. Yeah, I like blue, and the base is blue. You know, underneath the board that I showed before. The bottom stand is blue, so I think I'm going to go blue. Red is negative state, so it has to be green. But it's not a positive or a negative state. It's just a reading of the SD card. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it blue. I think I personally. So I'm just need to check something. Is it going to focus? It does. Yay! Except that doesn't. Okay, so make sure I've got my orientation correct, because this uses reverse orientation. I think I'm personally keeping manufacturing of blue LEDs in business. I love blue. So far, all of my 2019 badges that I have sold, everyone's chosen blue. I think one person chose white. Everyone else chose blue. Please tell me I got that the right way around. Yeah, I did. Good. Okay. So what am I missing still in terms of passives? I think that's all of them. Does that look like all? We don't have pull the count today. It's PA and 32 have RTOS and non-RTOS SDKs. Oh, right. I would think very few people would run the non-RTOS. I mean, you need to make a choice. You need to decide to run the non-RTOS. Otherwise, if you're just using IDF or Arduino IDE or MicroPython, you're just automatically running RTOS. 3 in the morning in India. That is crazy. Okay, I think I've got them all on there. So now let's get these final chips on. And let's get the SD card reader on there and I can reflow them. And it's amazing how much longer this stuff takes to do when you're chatting. I'm not complaining, but it's definitely not overly efficient doing this stuff live. I think I could have hand placed 4 boards by now if I was just doing it myself. I would have prepared all the parts better as well. I've just got stuff all over my desk right now. I would have spaced myself out differently, I think. I'm just going to take out some chips and stick them up on here. All of the MCPs come in tubes, which is really annoying. Really annoying. Okay. 1, 2. So, I think I've got that wrong way around. I do. Let's turn these around. It is a bit of a pain to place, but we'll see how we go. So, again, these are the MCPs. They're a pain because they're just on the edge of my tweezer width. That's okay, that was good. So being just on the edge of the tweezer width makes it hard to let go of the tweezers sometimes. So you tend to knock it. But that was okay. Cool. And you need to do these guys. These are the level shifters. You can see why I want to pick and place them. There's a lot of components on this board. So they're just time consuming to make. But you can't pick and place a little individual board. Not this size anyway. Oh, no. My 10 nanofarad caps. Did anyone point out my 10 nanofarad caps are missing? Applies as to the way they would need a real-time operating system to run a blink sketch. It's not that they need one, it's just that that's... Yeah, like, oh, they're already out. Where are my 10 nanofarads? Why did I put them back? Did I put them back? No, 2.2, 0.1. Okay, where did I put my 10 nanofarad caps? I don't think I put them away again. I did. I put them in the resistor bank. It's not that, yeah, it's not that they need it. It's that that's the default. Like when you plug an ESP32 in, it's got, like that's what it does. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure why people would bother using a non-RTOS platform, especially when it's not official either, right? Not that I'm aware of. And I don't know how well it's developed. And if, look, you know what? If you're just doing a blink sketch, like I'm not quite sure what you're doing with your hobby. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I'm not sure blink sketch is the target market. Okay, so now I've just got to put the SD card connectors on, which are a bit of a pain, because these are really on the edge of the board. Actually, no, they're not. I worked out how to do these. I got a way I grab them. I see if I can get this, fit this all in. So yeah, I grab it through the connector, through the clip. It's going to be hard to do though under the microscope. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that under the microscope. I'll have to do it like this. No, can't do that either. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to do this. It's just that my tweezers are vertical, which is going to make it hard to place. I hope I'll get it done. So I'm grabbing it just on the edge. Yeah, that was not good. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's too wide to grab the whole connector with my tweezers. Okay, try this again. Try not to knock the level shifter this time. Okay. Good, good. Okay, we're done. That took a while. I'm going to put these in the oven. I need to get my oven set up. Okay. So I'm going to just stick them on my PCBs like I normally do, without knocking it. Get out of the way. So they're just sitting on, can't really see. They're just, yeah, sitting on a bigger green PCB that I can then stick inside the oven. Back in a second. Whew, okay. I still have coffee left and it's going to be cold and it's going to be annoying. Okay, just see on. Here we go. Okay, what did I miss? Yeah, but I don't think there's a non-RTOS by Espresso for the 32. I don't know. I mean, I don't really play with the 8266 anymore. So, I honestly don't know what the current state is of that. To do more complex programs in simple computer. Okay, don't know what that is. Did I miss anything? SD macro card. Oh, right, because it looks so big under the thing. Okay. Okay, I got stuff all over the desk in front of me. I hope I don't knock them. Yeah, that took a bit longer to do than I thought it was going to take. That's okay. Did I miss anything? Anyone had any questions that I didn't get to? I apologize. I just need to put some of this away before I... So a lot of this stuff is set to be pick and placed, even though it's on tape. But I've kept the feeders on there because obviously that other 14 I showed you, they were pick and placed. How many of you have such an oven? Ooh, why is there a loose one in there? It must have fallen out. Well, if you're not doing surface mount work, you don't really need an oven. And even if you do, you can definitely get away with just doing hot air, using a hot air gun, depending on what you're making. Or use a toaster oven, which is what I used to do, and what I'm hopefully going to do again. My plan is hopefully that I can my new oven with my Reflow Master Pro will replace my T9628. That's what I'm hoping. And it means I can reflow back in my office again and not have to worry about having that in the garage. Okay, get all those out of the way. Question, I have a spare 500-gram tube of paste, won't use for probably 2 years. It's unbroken seal. It's in the fridge. Should you freeze it? Hey, Ian. I don't know if you can freeze it, can you? Won't the liquid inside the flux crystallize and then, I don't know. Actually, that's a really good question. I don't know. I have no idea if you can freeze it. What's the smallest IC package you solder by hand? 0402. I do by hand, and I've done SOT 723 by hand. I don't enjoy it. Like, I'd rather not. But yeah. I mean, for me, I don't enjoy hand soldering generally. Soldering with an iron. Really, there's no harm to freezing? Interesting, okay. I mean, you got different types of fluxes and different, chemical compositions of that and whatever. I would have thought it would be specific to the paste. Yeah, it's always, when you're buying tools for yourself, again, like, it's always hard to justify. But, you tend to use the stuff. I don't know. I think sometimes the guilt of spending money on things that you may not need encourages you to actually use them. Possibly. Yeah, toasters with controllers are actually great. I mean, if you can get the thermals inside the oven right and you're using a paste that is compatible, like you're not trying to do super high temp paste in a toaster oven, then there's nothing wrong with it. As long as it's, temperature controlled and you can fairly, closely match a profile, then that's, it doesn't have to be perfect, especially if you're just hobby stuff. Yeah, I've done QFP hand soldering, drag soldering. You spend as much time cleaning up the bridges as you do soldering it. But again, like I wouldn't want to, like I love doing surface mount stuff, and stencils are cheap, and I can always laser cut stencils for myself if I need to. It depends on the pitch. So yeah, I'd rather get a stencil and solder paste than hand solder things. Like, there's enough challenges in designing electronics and building stuff. Adding the complexity of having to fix your own soldering bridges and stuff, like, that's not enjoyable for me. Do you use an ESD bracelet while pick and placing? While pick and placing? No. I don't do any ESD protection at all. It's a running thing on my stream, running gag about the existence of ESD. I know ESD exists, but ESD is nowhere near an issue like it used to be. He said the bad word. Yeah. There's yeah. I'm sure I'm not static free, but yeah. I mean, I've built a lot of stuff. I don't know what I'm up to now. I've pick and placed at least at least 8,000 boards on my pick and place machine, at least. And I've never had, plus all the stuff I've done before my pick and place machine, I mean, I've hand assembled thousands of boards. and I've never ever had an ESD issue. And that's not saying that ESD doesn't exist. It does, but I've never had an ESD issue, not once. And I know sometimes I know the whole theory of you don't often know you've got an ESD issue till later, right? Yep, know that. I've never had anything fail out in the wild. Definitely nothing to do with ESD anyway. I've had some things fail through user error, and I've had some things fail potentially from me and lack of testing or something. But yeah, like I wouldn't know if like if I changed if I changed all of my practices and made sure that everything was completely um, if I went overboard with ESD protection measures, I wouldn't be able to measure if that's doing anything or not, if that makes sense. um, like I don't, yeah, like when I say I don't do anything to do with ESD protection, that doesn't mean I go the opposite. Like I don't have static stuff around me. I've got anti-static mats in front of my pick and place machine and on my ground everywhere. Like I've got, you know what I mean? Like I don't um, rub my feet together on the carpet, and then go and start working on the pick and place machine or touch components and stuff, if that makes sense, right? But I also don't wear a bracelet and I don't use ESD mats where I'm working. Um, yeah, hope that makes sense. Um, okay, that just beeped. Let me get it out. Okay, it's a bit warm. I'm going to switch to my other camera. I'm going to have to turn it on though, because it's off. And turn off the microscope, just so I don't get that black flickering that happens sometimes. Okay, so they're out of the oven. Probably only going to get these two built today, because they took quite a while. Actually, I might have to put them under the microscope just to check them. I mean, I can look at it myself, but I'm sure you'd want to see. Occasionally when I'm reflowing these MCPs, because of the fine pitch, I get some bridges, but I think they might look okay. Hey Greg, good morning. I fried a handful of small footprints lately, and I guess it was ESD. What do you mean you fried them? Like how did you fry them? How did you know they were frying them? Yeah, ESD is a really interesting discussion. It really is. I think if you're careful, then it's not a problem. That's my belief anyway. How close can I get? I wonder if we can see from here if there are any bridges. Let me straighten it up. Actually, that's silly. Why don't I just rotate them? Let's see if we can see any bridges, folks. I'm going to look through my... It's actually easier for me to look through here. They actually look okay, I think. I don't think I can see any bridges. And all of the components are all straight. Google ESD damage micrograph. Okay, cool. Thanks, Greg. Looks great. Yeah, okay, that looks fine. I don't think there's any issues there. Okay, so that's 2 boards made. A long way to go. A long way to go. Yes, I have to test them. I know. I had a testing rig which I pulled apart. I was using for something else. I'm going to have to put my testing rig back together again for these. And my testing rig is basically... Oh, that's what I was looking for before. They're the screens I was talking about. My testing rig is basically just one of my my 3-up shields, like this, with a TinyPICO on one end, and then I put this on the other end, push it into the pogo pins, and I run a whole bunch of stuff. So in terms of testing, I just detect that it can find all the chips. I put an SD card in and make sure that it can read the SD card properly and stuff, and the LED flashes, and that's pretty much all the testing I do on these boards. So, you know, if it can find the chips and talk to them and initialize the chips okay, and then that's should be fine, I think. Okay, 2 down, many to go. But I want to get, I'm gonna do my best to get these out in the next week or so. I mean, I still have to put the store page together. I'm actually thinking I might put them on Tindy as well. I haven't got any other shields on Tindy, but I might put these on Tindy. As well as my TinyPICO store. I don't know. But yeah, I need to get the cards printed, get the libraries finished and done, get some documentation written up. Yeah, get these bagged and packed. So much stuff to do when selling stuff. I just order 1,000 to annoy me. Will you now, Mr. Bitloony? It won't annoy me. As long as you pay for them. It won't annoy me at all because I'll pick and place them. Old AD7590 analog switch. Touch it and it's damaged by ESD. Really? Wow. Yeah, Greg's made some videos before. It'd be good if Greg did a stream, maybe. Or not. Not everyone likes streaming. It's quite a nerve-wracking thing for folks that don't like putting themselves on camera, which was me very much at the start. You get used to it. Do a stream for sorting through SMD buttons. Yeah, it sounds gripping. Absolutely gripping. So Ian, are you going to freeze that paste? I mean, I don't want to wait 2 years to find out how it went, but yeah. The question is, why have you got paste now that you're not going to use? That's the question. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I go through stacks of paste, and then sometimes obviously it slows down and I don't. Yeah, Greg's done videos before. Look, we're talking about Greg like he's not even here. But yeah, Greg's done videos. But doing a video and streaming are 2 different things. Like when you do a video, you can, if you don't like what you've done, you can retake it, right? Or you can, if you're happy with what you said, but not the way you looked saying it, then you can always put something up visually that's different while you're talking. But with a stream, it's live, right? Sleep is creeping up. Thanks for joining, Mark. Appreciate it. Wow, lots of concurrent viewers. Not many likes though, guys. Come on. Gotta hit that like button, please. Please hit the like button. I'm not sure it really even matters, to be honest with you. I don't know if YouTube even look at them. I think once upon a time they did, but who knows. Try laser diodes for ESD sensitivity 30 picofarad charged one. Look, I'm sure there are a large range of components that are very ESD sensitive that I don't work with that would be a huge problem for me to handle the way I do, potentially. But for the type of stuff I do and the stuff I work with, I think that the balance of 50-50 was the best once. Really? According to our algorithm? Okay. I'm not sure I'd like to see 50-50 on my videos. I don't know, even if it was good for the algorithm. I think it would be bad for me, for my heart. Right, okay. We'll do a freeze test. I bought MP100, then started using to the GC10. Right, okay. But if you're not using the MP100, does it matter? I don't know. I mean, I switched paste from my SAC 305 to, or the Loctite to, what's the brand I'm using now? Can't remember. Hang on. Hey Greg, if you're still here, I should have sent you this. So I went from using this Loctite, which is SAC 305, to using the Chem Tools SAC 305. I mean, that was expensive. This was like a couple of $100, I think, and it's pretty much full. Oh, okay, it's not full. Okay, it feels full. It's got a lot left. Oh, that smell. And it's now past its expiry date, but it's in my fridge, and it's actually still usable. But the difference is this is a no clean, and this is water based flux. And the cleaner I use in my ultrasonic cleaner is it's a non-chemical cleaner, and so it works. It's designed for water based, and I get a much nicer clean if I use this. So like I don't use this anymore. Like it's I know I've spent money on it, but I'm not going to use it. It's in the fridge. I can't really sell it because it's past its expiry date. Like I guess at the end of the day, I'm happy to abandon this and not use it anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's the money's been spent. It's gone. You know. So you still have 400 grams of yours. I'm not sure you need any more. Yeah, you bought a lot. You bought it in the tube. That's crazy. So I actually bought a whole bunch of TVS diodes. I've got a packet of them, of a couple of different types, different sizes. My plan always was to look at putting ESD protection on my boards, but you know what? At the end of the day, like, you just don't see it. Like the only boards I've got here that I have that have got any ESD protection on them are the latest Espressive boards, basically because they're just they're a reference board, right? And they're massive, but whatever. Like I don't know. It doesn't seem to be, at least in the hobbyist space, like there's just no one sticking ESD protection diodes on their boards, which is kind of bizarre, I guess. The last video I saw was the Pi 4 with the Python issue and Adafruit libraries. Today's a success. Yeah, most of my stuff is a success. You're talking about the paste. I don't understand a word. I need to be lectured now with the P&P. What? What paste should I get? Right, okay. Well, it depends. I like working with low temp paste. Preferably, like, I use this Chip Quick. Is that gonna too bright? Bit hard to see with the glare. So this is thermally stable. So TS391 LT250. This is thermally stable paste. Doesn't have to be kept in the fridge, which is fantastic. So the problem with paste that you need to keep in the fridge is you need to take it out of the fridge before you use it. You need to give it, anywhere between 40 minutes to an hour to let it get to room temperature, and make sure you mix it up. And then you've only got a certain window that you can use it before it gets too warmed up and it needs to get back in the fridge. And so getting the paste out and getting it at the right temperature to be able to apply it well on the stencil, especially when you're doing fine pitch, is a real pain. Where with the thermally stable stuff, it doesn't matter. Like, you can just leave it out. I mean, you don't leave the lid off. Like, you want to keep it airtight, but open it up, use it, close the lid, and it also means that you can paste that you've used, as long as it's clean, like on the stencil. If you clean the stencil off, you can put it back in, and it's generally okay because it's thermally stable. It's been out, you can go back in, unless you've contaminated it. Thermally stable costs a little bit more. You can get higher temp thermally stable. It really depends on how you want to work. I mean, high temp stuff is probably better for boards that you're sending out. Maybe it depends what it's being used for. But high temp is really hard to rework, which is why I don't like using high temp. Because if I have to rework something, the amount of heat you need to stick on there to rework it, and the chances of damaging components while you're doing it with a hot air gun increases. So, I mean, that's just my choice. And that's the thing, right? With low temp paste, you're never going to have a problem with RGB LEDs, or plastic packages or anything else, right? Any time I've ever tried to reflow above a low temp paste, so anything 180 degrees and above, I've always had issues with RGB LEDs, like plastic package LEDs. Not little stuff, like not like the LEDs I stuck on this. I mean, they're fine, but stuff like for my 7-segment displays. So I do everything with low temp paste. I just prefer it. Where do I get it the cheapest? Well, that's the thing. You don't want to get it the cheapest, bit loony. You want to buy something good and reliable. That's for me. You don't buy from China. Don't buy from eBay. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know how long it's been. I mean, they've got a shelf life, right? You don't know how long, what the date of manufacture really is on them. You don't even know what you're getting inside them, if it's what they list it as. I mean, a tub like this for me is like $120 Australian or something, $130 Australian, and a tub like this will last me a year, right? Unless I go through it all. Like this can sit on my desk for a year, and I can open it and use it whenever I need to, and close it, and never have to worry about putting it in the fridge or forgetting or taking it out. Didn't take it out in time. Has it, is it too warm? I mean, obviously, if it's super hot in your office or really freezing in your office, then I mean that's a problem. But that's a problem with any paste. But if your work area is generally within your 19 to 23 degrees, like comfortable temperature, then yeah, just that's what I would recommend. I think reliable board assembly is all about your paste quality and your pasting quality. Simple as that. I think it doesn't matter how good your board design is. It doesn't matter how good your manual or automatic picking and placing is. If your stenciling is bad and the paste you're using is bad, then you're making a bad board. And just like ESD, but even worse, is your boards, if you're sealing them, your boards are going to fail out in the world, and you won't know about it. You're going to get dry joints, you're going to get issues with reflowing. What are the worst mistakes with pasting? Just over applying or under applying paste, I guess. I mean, like, so when it's about even pasting, like once you start pasting panels, it gets harder because you need to, you're not like focusing on one board that you need to do. You need to focus on making sure you've got an even paste. And again, for the type of stuff you're doing a bit linear, it's not really a problem because of the pitch. It's when you're doing really fine pitch stuff, QFNs and small pitch things that, there's nothing worse than pasting a board and realizing that there are a couple of pads that have too much or not enough paste. Do you wipe the board off and start again, or do you hope you can rework it later? I mean, if you've got to rework your boards afterwards, you're just wasting time, right? Yeah, look, I wouldn't want to rework my paste by adding flux. I'd rather, yeah. I know people do it, but you got to look at what flux you're putting in it. I mean, a lot of the paste that you buy has, tuned flux by that manufacturer. And if you're putting flux in that isn't that, then I don't know, when you start mixing flux, what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to put these back in the fridge before I forget. Yeah, look, so it just comes down to, like, in terms of the paste you use, what your application is, and what your requirements are for your boards. Like, if it's not super fine pitch, if you're doing 0603s and, you know, even 0.5 millimeter pitch chips, you know, QFNs or QFPs, or obviously QFNs are harder because they're really hard to rework. The only way to rework them is to hot air them and pull them off and fix the pads and put them back on again, right? With a QFP or with, you know, an IC with pins sticking out, flayed pins, whatever that's called, then you know, you can visually see if there's a problem, and you can, with an eye, and you can rework them. You don't have to go hot air. Yeah, I've got a fridge in the garage where I put all my stuff. Yeah, if you're doing anything that's a concealed chip where the pads are underneath, so like a QFN or a DFN or an Exxon, or what, you know, what are the XJ, Son, all the different names. Then if it's concealed and you got to take it off to see if it's working or not, that's a problem. So you want to get those. You want to get really good paste, good quality paste, good quality application. Hey Andy Mouse, you got no notification? Bummer, sorry mate. So, and it's just practice. Stenciling's all about practice. You know, don't rush. Don't be impatient. It takes much more time to paste badly, have to take it out, clean it off, and repaste than it does to just paste it properly to start with. You know what I mean? Don't rush. Nice even movement. BTC bottom terminated component. Is that what it's called? BTC? Wrong flux and the paste spreads like water, creating at best a major cleanup, worst hidden conductive bridges. Well, that's the other thing. The flux, it depends on your reflow, right? The flux is supposed to burn off, but it doesn't often burn off, or doesn't burn off enough. So, you know, the higher the temp paste you're using, the much harder it is to reflow. Like the higher the temp you're reflowing, the more of a professional reflow system you need to get reliable reflowing. Both from an evenness point of view and from actually, so the lower the temp, the more forgiving your profile can be. But the higher the temp, the more accurate your profile has to be to really make sure that it hits the temperatures it needs to reflow properly. And, you know, you look at some, like I've seen some boards. Look, I've even seen some boards from Adafruit that I've stuck under a microscope, and if you look really closely, you can see that there are little, around the fringes of some of the components, there are little solder balls that haven't reflowed properly. It happens, right? It's you know, the boards work. See, Connie, thanks for joining. Yeah, like it's getting reliable reflowing is hard. What's more nerve-wracking, hosting a live stream or pasting, hand placing and reflowing? For me, neither. I don't know, neither are nerve-wracking for me. I mean, it was at the start. Like, I remember freaking out about having to place 0805 components and pasting 0805 components when I first started, right? Like, I don't know. The only reason I'm not working at 0201 right now is I can't pick and place 0201. I mean, for those that remember, I bought a whole bunch of 0201 stuff. I've got books of 0201. I've got on my floor bags of 0201 components. I would love to be working at a much... it's a Constantine. Okay, I'm going to keep calling you Connie because I'm not going to remember. Yeah, I'd love to be working at 0201 and move away from 0402. But I can't pick and place it. And if I can't pick and place it, there's no point in me designing boards with it. But think about how small I could get stuff. Like my Nano. Think about how small I could get my Nano. I need to build a whole bunch of Nanos, but I need to build a tester. Oh, so, an update. Me too now, 05 are big that they standard easy. Yeah, 0603 for me is too big. 0402 is too big. Like I feel like I look at an 0402 now and I look at how much space around them. 0201 just gets just silly. Nah, I want to go to 01 or 05 at some point. So I have news. So that's my Nano. So this works. Come on, you're not going to focus now, are you? See? That's why I don't like autofocus. So my Nano. So the Reflow Master Pro is working great. But on this version, unfortunately, I had a problem with thermocouples and I wasn't reading the temperature properly. So this is what I built last week. And so I ended up having to cut a bunch of traces on the board to find out what the problem was. And the problem was the touch for the screen. Where'd the screen go? So the problem was, I don't know if, I wouldn't trust 0201 pads from, I don't know. The pads from JLC PCB would be fine. I wouldn't trust the solder mask. So I'd have to be, I'd have to accept the fact that I'd have no solder mask around any of the 0201s. Can't JLC do 0201? I don't want them assembling any of my boards though. I don't want even them hybrid assembling any of my boards. That doesn't make any sense for me. So, I mean, I want to assemble all my boards. So, yeah. And JLC PCB are still really limited in what their assembly is. You know, they won't do black boards still. They won't do 1mm boards. They won't, there's the whole range of components that I use that they won't do still. You know what I mean? So, yeah, not an option for me. So, for those of you who remember, in this design, I've actually hooked up the touch over here. And it turns out that I had an issue. There's no issue with the design. God, okay, this autofocus is just shite. There we go. But I had to cut a whole bunch of traces to work out what the issue was, why the thermocouples weren't working. And it turns out it was a combination of the clock and the and MISO. So master in, slave out. So they're obviously reading the touch. And so I've worked out what it is now and I've solved it, but I've cut all the traces and I cut them in a way that I can't rebridge them. I've tried. So on this particular board, you're not going to be able to see, but there's cut traces all around these pins here. So on this particular board, I can't get touch implemented now, but now that I know what it is, I can fix it in code, which is fine, which is exciting. So, but I also melted the edge here of this header. You might be able to see. Anyway, so that was annoying because after the stream, I went to start playing with it and I could get either thermocouple working, but I couldn't get both of them working. And it turns out there was an issue with, the touch. But it doesn't require a change in board design. It just requires a software fix. But I didn't know that at the time. My debugging was at a hardware level. They did both for me just recently. What? Blackboard? Are they assembling blackboards now? Are they? Okay, that must be new. As of the end of last year, they still weren't doing black 1mm boards. They were only doing green. So okay, well that's interesting to know. But still, for me, I want to assemble myself. I'm yeah, that's what I've set myself up to do. So yeah, this is working really well. But what I was going to say was, so if I went to, I'm just saying, if I went to 0201, so I've already got I've got some different I've got CP2102Ns here, which is a QFN20 instead of a QFN24. So it's a smaller package. I've got a smaller package for this guy here. That's the dual. You can't really see. I know. Maybe I'll. It doesn't matter anyway. The dual NPN transistor, pre-biased, and I've got a new small tiny charge IC instead of this TP over here. So if I look at changing this and making that smaller and going 0201 instead of 0402, I could probably get the Nano about maybe 15% smaller. I'm not going to. There's no point, right? There's no advantage in having the Nano 15% smaller. Oh, just PCBs, right? Okay, yeah. So assembly, they're still only doing green 1.6mm, which is great for prototypes, but it's not for what I want to do. You know, I mean, all of the components on this board here come from JLC PCB, come from LCSC, right? But they can't make this board for me, even if I wanted them to. They won't make it. They won't assemble it. And I can assemble it cheaper than they can, because some of these components are still on their extended list, and what they charge to do it. I mean, obviously I just hand assembled this and this took a lot of time, but if I'm picking and placing them, I mean, right now I still have to hand assemble that IC and the SD card reader, because I don't have any free slots to put those in. And these come on tube, and the tubes came like this. All the tubes came cut up, so I can't even put them on my tube feeder. I don't have any spare long tubes of this size. So that was a bit of an annoying thing when they got delivered like that. Anyway, but even still, I can still pick and place these myself and assemble these cheaper than JLC PCB can do them for me. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yes, I have an ADS 1015 on there. I do. Well spotted. This little guy right here. Extended only matters on low volume. We got to define what low volume is. They don't do high volume, bit loony. I mean, they'll do a maximum 30 boards and however many you can get on a panel. So, you know, they can only do 200 maybe of my boards. Well, it depends on the size of the panel, I guess. So, what's leftovers? You prefer 001, 0025. Okay, is that even a thing? I don't even know what that is. A cent per component. Is that what it's gone down to now? I don't know. Look, I looked at their service at the very start, obviously. I mean, I got given early access to it. But I got given early access to it, and I got given basically free ride to get whatever I wanted made. The tubes, no, they're not. They did that because of the way they package them. They had them like that, shipped them in a bag to take up less space, so they fit in a box. Yeah. But I at the time I couldn't find anything that they would build for me. There was no board that I had, like, unless I made something just for them to build. Like, what's the point? There was no board that I needed made that they would make for me at the time, because firstly their range of parts was very small before they launched, right? So this is about 2 months before they launched. They were only doing green. They weren't doing ENIG at the time. And basically my selection of parts was non-existent. So there was nothing I could get them to do. They'd fit them in a poster tube. Yeah, like, it depends what I'm ordering from them, you know. yeah. Is the circuit diagram available for me to have a look at, please? Not right now. I mean, it will eventually. I have to also get all these out. I will, like when I release them, hopefully next week. Andy, I'll release all of the files as well. TS391 LT250, is that the one? TS391 LT250 you just ordered? Well done, yay! Yeah, €76. That's about right, about $120. It's worth it, mate, really. It's really easy to reflow. It's really easy to rework. And it can just sit on your desk and you don't have to worry about sticking the fridge or pulling it out again. I use Eagle, yes. Hello, Valentine. A Delta X. Don't do that, please. Timed out, mate. Not sure who you are, but do not post like that. Thank you. Yeah, Andy Mouse, only because it's not ready to send out. It's the schematic's a mess. I need to clean that up. Interested in the ADS, I'm playing with them. Okay. I mean, Adafruit have got a schematic up on, obviously they've designed a schematic up online for their little module, which I've got one of them lying around. It's a little ADS module, so I mean you can, yeah, no focus. You can have a look at one of theirs. That's obviously specific just to the ADS. But I will release mine, but they need a lot of cleanup still. Okay, yeah. Leaning towards producing some runs of the TinyPICO Nano once you're happy with it. Yeah, I'm happy with it now, and I will be making TinyPICO Nanos for sure. I mean, my aim primarily is for myself, for my Reflow Masters, but yeah, like I'm happy to make them and list them, as long as people understand what they're buying, for sure. No problem. Yeah. But it's basically, it's a TinyPICO, but in a castellated form, right? So it's going to cost the same price as a TinyPICO, a little bit less, tiny little bit less than TinyPICO. So, yeah. I don't know how many people are going to want them or not. I'm not going to like mass produce them. I'll do a very small run to start with and see how I go. Some for T-doing. What's T-doing? Is that a... I don't know what T-doing means. Is that actually a word or is that a typo? Yeah, I'll definitely have the files up next week. Hopefully, Andy. Once Andy Mouse, once I've yeah, so much to do to get these finished. It's a Kiwi anachronism, a T-do to muck around with. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. A T-do. I'm gonna see if I can remember that and use it. Okay, well, it wasn't an unproductive stream, but it also, 2 boards wasn't a lot. Wasn't a lot. And the problem is I'm going to get back onto Reflow Masters now. And, once the stream's finished. And then... Bye, Andy. Catch you later. Going to go back onto Reflow Masters. So I'm probably... I don't even know if I'll get any more of these built today. But I'm going to get them done. I'm going to get them out. No worries, Bit Looney. No worries. So, folks, we change... Next... Oh, by the way, happy April 1st, everyone. Happy April 1st. So we change daylight savings next week on the 5th. So stream next week is going to... I have to decide. It's going to be... Does everyone want me to do it at the same time? That means it's 6:30 start for me in the morning. Are we going to do the same time? For everyone else? Well, it's April 1st for me. I don't know what time you guys will tick over. Many of you have ticked over already now, I think. Make an hour later, so not the ass crack of dawn for you. I'm just worried that an hour later means an hour later for everyone, which means that many of you that are already up super late to participate are going to be up even later, which I feel bad. This is the latest that works for me. Yeah. Hope you have pranked us. I haven't pranked you. Daylight saving is changing next week. So, well, they can move to Melbourne then. I think right now no one can move to Melbourne. No one can move anywhere, to be honest. I don't want you to push back, Sion, but that's right. So that's the thing. It becomes too late for many of you. Is Rob moved to bed? How about this? Try same time relative to you, relative to me, and ask again. So an hour later for everyone else. There'll be no one on the stream. Oh, BST. I thought you meant bed. Okay, look, I don't know. We'll see. You'll all get a surprise next week what time's going to be. Assuming you get a notification from YouTube. So, yeah. What happened to Swatch internet time? Swatch? You mean Swatch watches? What's Swatch internet time? I don't know. I don't know. Look, the whole thought of getting up at 6:30 in the morning. Oh, sorry, streaming at 6:30 means I need to get up at 5. Yeah. Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, I got a lot of folks from the UK, so from Europe, who are on the stream, and it's really late for them. And those like that from India and Pakistan and stuff, where it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, but they watch my stream. Like I feel really honoured. Honestly, I do. I feel totally honoured that I have people staying up so late to watch my streams, but I feel really guilty at the same time. Yeah, I'll go the hour earlier. Next week I'll do an hour earlier, so I'll start my time 6:30, and we'll see how we go. See how tired I am. It depends what I'm going to be doing. I've got hopefully my PCBs will arrive. Oh no, I can't build any of those. No, I can. There's something. If my PCBs arrive, I've got a new product I can build live on my stream next week. Oh no, I'm going to make a video of it. I don't know. I'll think about it. I don't know what I'm going to work on my stream next week. I can think of better things to do on 5 a.m. on a Wednesday. I'm up normally at 5 in the morning anyway because Flynn's an early riser. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay, I'm going to call it. Thank you, folks. Thanks for joining. Thanks for holding my hand while I was making those boards. I will work out how I can sell the other ones cheaper somehow. Went out to do garbage. How long does it take you to do your garbage, Bruce? Anyway, okay. Thank you all. Everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully don't get too bored. Find something to do. Oh, hello, Peter. You missed it. Yep, you timed that perfectly. Perfectly. For those that don't know, Peter's been streaming again on his Twitch channel. Can you post your Twitch channel link before I stop the stream, please? So yeah, Peter's been like his last stream was he was working on his icebreaker Itsy Bitsy, doing KiCad work. Cool, thank you. So if you like watching some really high-end PCB design work, that's where you want to go, and FPGA stuff. He's got another stream tomorrow. Excellent. I'm going to try to make the stream live this time, but yeah, mornings for me with the kids hit and miss. But you could always watch them afterwards. Peter puts them on his YouTube channel afterwards. And they're pretty cool. There's a countdown timer. Oh, awesome. Okay, bye. Catch you all. Have a, as I said, a safe and healthy week. And hopefully we'll have some better news next week, just in general. Cool. Bye, everyone. Take care.